Welcome to Mr. Heaton's Math Lab. In this video, we're going to learn about how to solve word problems using multiplication and division. So let's start with multiplication. So there's a couple things we can do to make looking at word problems as easy as possible. So here's a couple little tricks. What we can do first is we could read out loud. And by doing so, it makes it easier for us to actually understand what's going on. Now, when we want to understand if we are to multiply or if we're supposed to divide, we can look for key words. Some of those words are going to be group, or we take a look at total, or even times. If we see any of those words, it can help us understand that we're supposed to multiply out values. So let's read this aloud together, and then we can go through and we can highlight information that we think is important. So Sarah has 5 bags of marbles with 6 marbles in each bag. Okay, how many marbles does Sarah have in total? So we have that word total right there. So that does mean we are going to multiply. So we have 5 bags and there's 6 marbles in each bag. So we're going to multiply 5 times 6. If we use our multiplication table, we know that that is 30. Okay, let's try this question. Now again, for us to understand if we are going to multiply versus divide, we want to look for some key words. That key word might be total, times, or maybe even group or group by. Let's see if we see any of those key words. Now, as we read the question, we can highlight important information for us to remember. So let's read this out loud. There are 4 rows of chairs in the classroom. Each row has 8 chairs. How many chairs are there in the classroom in total? So we know that it is in total. So if that's the case, then we are going to multiply. So we're going to have 4 times 8. And if we multiply that out, looking at our multiplication table, we know that that is going to be 32. Now let's try some division. So whenever we're dividing, we want to look for some key words for divide as well. Now these words are going to be a little bit different. We might see the word divided, which would make it really easy. Or we can look at the word each, or maybe even equally. Okay, so let's see if we see any of that information. Okay, a baker has 36 cookies and wants to put them into boxes. Each box can hold 9 cookies. How many boxes does the baker need? Well, we saw that word each, and that makes it really easy for us to understand that we're going to need to divide. So 36 divided by 9, and if we use our multiplication table, we know that that is 4, meaning we need 4 boxes to fit the 36 cookies. Now let's try this question. Again, if we want to know whether we need to divide or multiply, we want to look for words for divide specifically, such as divided, equally, or each. So let's see if we see any of those words. So we'll read it and we'll highlight important information. So there are 40 students in the gym class. They are divided, so we see that word divided, which means we are going to divide. They are divided into groups of 5 for the relay race. How many groups are there? So if we have 40 and we divide it by 5, using our multiplication table, we know that that is going to be 8. Okay, now let's take a look at this question. We don't know if it's going to be multiplication or division, so we need to remember, if we multiply, we're going to look for the words such as total. If we're going to divide, we want to look for the words such as equal or the word divided. Let's see what we find. So let's read it and highlight important information. A gardener has 18 flower pots and wants to place an equal number of flowers in each pot. Okay, there are 3 flowers in each pot. Now another word for division that makes it easier is that word each. So we have 2 words. We have equal, we have each, so we know we're going to divide. We have a total of 18, looks like 3 flowers per pot. So we can do 18 divided by 3. And if we use our multiplication table, we know that that answer is 6. Now let's take a look at this question. Okay, this one, it says that Jenny has 8 packs of crayons, and a pack contains 6 crayons. How many crayons does Jenny have in total? Okay, well, if we remember, for multiplication, we are going to want to find a word such as total or times. And since we have that word total, we know that we are going to multiply. So we have 8 times 6. That is equal to 48. Now let's try this one. This time I'm not going to write down the trick to understand if it is multiplication or division. Let's see if you can figure this out on your own. So if we read this, we have 24 apples, and each basket can hold 6 apples. How many baskets are needed to hold all the apples? Okay, well, we have 24 apples, and we have this word each. Each basket can hold 6 apples, so we need to figure out how many baskets. With that word each, it's going to be division. So 24 divided by 6 is equal to 4. And that's our answer. Okay, let's try this word problem. Now again, we're not going to give out if it is a multiplication or division. So we're going to need to figure out what that word is to tell us what we're going to do. So let's see if we can figure out if we multiply or divide. If we read this out loud, it says, a baker bakes 4 batches of cookies. A batch has 10 cookies. How many cookies does a baker bake in total? So I think it's that word total is going to help us out. And if you remember, total is going to be multiply. So we are going to multiply these two numbers together. 4 times 10, that's going to equal 40. If you're looking to take your math skills to the next level, check out Mr. Heaton's Math Lab. We offer a range of resources to help you succeed, from free workbooks and Common Core assessments to focused mini courses and comprehensive curriculum courses. Head over to www.mrheatonsmathlab.com to get started today.